Welcome to the GCNTech show.
This week we're discussing if alloy bikes will ever make a comeback and if pro riders will ever choose metal bikes over carbon ones.
We also got hot tech this week where we have a new aluminium bike with an integrated service box, limited edition glasses, outrageous custom painted bike I've ever seen.
It is phenomenal.
Plus we've got the bike vault and comments of the week. Okay, so this week I would like to discuss if carbon fibre bikes have had their day and it's going to be the return or rise of metal bikes. Not only do I want to discuss that, I also want to discuss if we're going to ever see steel, aluminium or titanium bikes ridden by the pros in races like the Tour de France. Because already we've seen some events on the track where there's metal frames taking medals and records.
Milan breaking the individual pursuit record at the World Championships last week. Incredible ride under 4 minutes. And he was on the same type of bike that Ganna used and Dan Bigham used to do the hour record, which is, it's for those that don't know, that bike is not carbon. You look at it and assume it was. It's made from scalmalloy.
Now, I think we're going to talk about that a bit more in a bit, aren't we?
Yeah.
But the reason I kind of wanted to discuss this subject, number one, I was on holiday last week riding a titanium bike, very pleasant experience. Number two, there is a new aluminium Orbea bike that's launched. We're going to discuss that in hot tech. And then three is I've also heard rumours of a big bike brand getting ready to release a brand new steel bike. So it's kind of got me thinking, is the industry moving away from carbon fibre, moving back towards steels and alloys and metals, or am I just overthinking all of this?
Well, bike brands have never really moved away from alloy bikes.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Like pretty much all brands have continued to have, apart from the most high-end ones, have continued to have aluminium bikes in their range. Steel has moved away, but steel hasn't really ever gone away full stop. There's, we would go to like bespoke bike shows, always beautiful steel frames around. I think it's quite interesting that you're saying that one of the major brands is going to be releasing a steel bike, because that's quite a cool, interesting departure. But it just feels that with regards to like performance, all the R&D for pure racing bikes has been towards carbon stuff, and there hasn't been as much
advancement
in alloys.
Yeah, I think that's true, and this is perhaps one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this into the conversation, because I think lots of people will be drawn towards the allure of a carbon fibre bike. You see the pros riding, it's the lightest, the fastest, the stiffest, it does this, that and the other. And then the price of it's obviously come down as well over the years. And then it feels like that's drawn people away from aluminium or aluminum bikes. But the...
Aluminium.
But having ridden modern aluminium bikes and titanium bikes, and I haven't really ridden many modern steel bikes, but when you choose ones that are designed with performance in mind to try and compete with performance carbon bikes or other materials, you realise the difference between them is actually quite small, but the difference between the price point is still significant.
Yeah, there's a lot more bike sort of for your money, really. And when you factor in all those things that we also say, like the difference in weight, that's, it's inescapable, but the lightest carbon bikes are lighter than the lightest aluminium and steel bikes. Can be as much as a kilo just in the frame and fork. Yeah,
I think kilo is probably like a good general number in terms of like the differences between them.
And even titanium as well. But the thing is, weight doesn't, it doesn't make as much difference as what most people think it does.
Yeah, that's so true.
And the heavier you are as a rider, the less difference it makes, because it's just a proportion of your overall system mass, and it becomes much less. The big advantage, obviously, has always been historically aerodynamics with regards to carbon, and aero matters more than weight, as we always bang on about. But that's where the intriguing thing with Milan's team pursuit, individual pursuit, comes in, because that bike is made of scalmalloy, as we were saying, but more aerodynamic, arguably, than a bike that would be made from carbon, because they can 3D print it and therefore tune the shape of the things, like the seat post is all tuned with that ribbed seat post. It's tuned to the frequency of his dimensions and his legs and all this sort of stuff. So it's you could never have that. Molding those shapes becomes a lot harder with composites, but 3D printing, additive manufacturing.
So I think, once we start to use what would be deemed as those traditional materials, but then incorporate modern technology, I think we're starting to get products which are much, much closer to being able to compete with carbon fibre.
Yes and no, though. So we do have. So this is a stem by Mythos, it's Dimitris Katsanis company over in Derby making these, which is made from scalmalloy, and you've got this like truss design. So it's supposed to be super, super, super strong. And this is the same material and sort of 3D printing process that was made for that bike. But I just looked up, but these aren't cheap, and that bike is really expensive, right? And part of the reason why it's not cheap, before people start going like, oh, marketing, well, no.
Marketing.
So it does contain, so scalmalloy is primarily aluminium alloy, right? But it contains a mixture of different metals in there. The most notable of which is scandium. Now, scandium is element 21, for those that are wondering.
22, next to
So, very good. But it's
Jacob's cracking.
It's incredibly rare earth metal, scandium, right? And so, as a result, it costs about $270 per gram. So, if you've got a bike frame that weighs
a kilo. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, but like it's only going to be, the ratio of scandium in scalmalloy isn't much.
Okay, right.
But it's still, it only has to be 1% for it in a kilo for it to then be 10 grams of the stuff, and then you can see it's super expensive just in raw material.
Yeah, that's the kind of crazy thing. I think if you were to break down, say the price point and where your money goes on some bikes. I feel like someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you were to have let's for argument's sake metal, steel, aluminium, titanium bike, I feel like more of your money is going on the bike than the R&D and the other stuff. Whereas if you have carbon fibre, I think we all kind of know that the base costs of the raw materials are relatively low, and a lot of the money is going into the development of it to get to that stage. And I feel like it perhaps it's just nice to know that a lot more of your money has gone on the physical item that you've got.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a load of like there's loads of R&D going into 3D printing, additive manufacturing of alloys, and we're getting things like scalmalloy stuff, but there'll be other things come along. And not only that, you hear all this wacky stuff about like metal foams that are being developed that are like really strong but really low density, so really lightweight, and sort of making use of metals and alloys, natural like crystalline structures and things. And I think this technology is advancing, and we will see applications possible within bikes. The thing is, though, and it's sort of what you're saying, it ain't going to be cheap.
It's not going to be cheap.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you might get a bike that's, and metals have a phenomenal properties. You might get a bike that is, lighter and stronger than a carbon fibre bike that's made from some crazy manufacturing process and alloys.
The price.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's not like going to be making it affordable to the masses.
Which is, I think, a big problem, right? And perhaps the reason why we haven't seen this advancement in the bike industry. Bikes are already more expensive than we would all like them to be. I don't want to make them more expensive. But with smart choices, the existing technologies, I think, can be sensible choices. Like, aluminium frames have advanced. You've got things like where the bottom bracket sections are now pressed and forged to make the cool shapes, so you get internal cable routing and stuff like that. And I know that pretty much in most different categories you could look at for comparing frames, like, I don't know, weight, stiffness, comfort, just the enjoyment that you get from riding your bike, a carbon fibre frame tends to typically top trump metal bikes in most different ways. But there's one important thing that two different people have told me, and they come from opposing industries, so I'm inclined to really believe it, and that is that you can refine the ride quality of a bike far more through your tyre choice and tyre pressure than you could ever do through frame design or material choice.
Yeah, I agree.
So with that in mind, you think...
In my experience of riding bikes, yeah.
Yeah, so with that in mind, you think, well, maybe I could save X amount of money and go for an aluminium bike and I haven't got to get carbon fibre. I can still enjoy it, I can still ride it, it's still going reasonably light. We know that weight isn't super important. And then you've saved some money, and you've probably got a bike that might last a little bit longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
with you.
Yeah. Do I think we're going to see the Tour de France pros riding alloy bikes in the future? I'm not so sure. I don't think we're going to get to that stage. It would be amazing if we did.
I think we will, but just not. It'll be wacky, super expensive stuff.
When do you reckon? I want a timeline on this.
Within 5 years, I reckon.
You reckon? Within 5 years?
I reckon we could see something wacky, yeah.
And do you think there'll ever be a decline of carbon fibre frames?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you on that.
The reason why I think we'll see a decline of carbon frames, this was the other thing that I wanted to mention, is because look at the shake dry fabric.
Yeah.
Okay. Shake dry waterproof fabric was used on by a load of different brands on their top end waterproof. It's blooming amazing.
Yeah.
Right. One of my favourite things ever. They banned it. They got rid of it, and they got rid of it because it's deemed bad for the environment.
Yeah.
Because it contains fluorocarbons.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you know this, but carbon fibre isn't exactly good for the environment.
No, it's not eco-friendly, is it?
And so I reckon that's why we will see a decline in the use of carbon fibre. There will be something else that replaces it, and it's probably just going to be a greener version of carbon fibre.
So you think environmental pressures will push the industry to better materials and standards?
Yeah.
Wow, that actually got quite deep at the end of that. Yeah, I like that. Well, okay, that's our thoughts on it. Get involved in the comment section down below. Let us know what you think the future holds for aluminium, steel, titanium, and carbon fibre. Cool.
Right, time now for hot tech. Sticking with the topic of alloy bikes.
Yeah. Okay, straight in. At the start of the show, I promised people a new aluminium bike with an integrated service box. Here it is. It's called
What is an integrated service box?
It's called the Orbea Avant, right? And you'll see by the pictures that there is essentially a storage unit clipped onto the bottom of the down tube to put all your spares and snacks into. So basically, you don't have to
like the TT bike udder.
Yeah, but it's a bit more attractive than the Ordu udder. I think it's really cool. So having just spoken about whether metal bike's going to make a comeback, here's a good quality new aluminium one.
Tell us more.
I would like to tell you more. So Orbea is saying the advanced alloy frame combined with a carbon fibre fork offers carefully considered geometry to maximise compliance and comfort, combined with excellent tyre clearance. It's designed for long rides.
35mm tyres you can get in it.
Yeah, big chunky boys. I also
good,
like the fact that they say it can accept standard mudguards and stuff like that. But what I think is neat, having spoken about the advancements in materials, is that the way this frame is made and manufactured, and the welds have all been really nicely smooth, at first glance, you would think it was perhaps a carbon fibre frame because it's all smooth and seamless, the transitions between the tubes. Integrated cables, and down by the bottom bracket, like I mentioned earlier on, it's really using that section is forged together, so you can sort of press it in one piece, which is pretty neat. Revised geometry into a cable routing I already said about, and then of course, like all Orbea's, the Maya customization platform, so you can choose all the cool colours, designs, spec it out, all the bells and whistles exactly how you like. The standard options are available. You've got a H30, a H40 and a H60. Prices start at $14.99, go up to $2,299 for the top spec one, which is
105.
Like a 105 build, basically.
Yeah, so you're a Claris, Tiagra and a 105.
Exactly.
Nice.
I like that. Right, next time in Hot Tech, we have some limited edition sunglasses. Now, 300 pairs, I think, of these bad boys are available. They're from SunGod, and they're a collaboration with Alec Briggs and his Techers team, which is like a UK-British team. But they're starting to make a name for themselves in some of the crit racing over in the US as well.
Yeah, they look proper cool, these. Like checkerboard design.
I love that.
I think they look really nice.
There's loads of different, well, I say they're a limited edition, but you can actually customise them ever so slightly. You can choose like the ear socks and the little logo and the lens, of course. I just think I would go simple, keep it black and white throughout.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I think they look really cool.
Right, next up in Hot Tech, well, we've got some Zwift stuff to talk about. Because here in the UK, basically the weather has turned pretty rubbish. It's wet, it's cold, it's dark, and riding your bike outside is not necessarily all that pleasant of an experience. It's the same around the world, lots of places to be fair, which can mean one thing, because it's this time of year where the tour of Watopia is on, right?
Yeah.
Gives you some nice goals and challenges to set yourself and work your way through. So currently that is on, and you've got all the way up until the 24th of November to complete those. You've got 5 different stages, and it's also worth remembering we've still got our weekly Zwift club rides going on the GCN club.
Yeah.
You did yours the other day.
Yeah, so last week I did a club ride. It was blooming great. Just riding along, chatting to people. They're no drop rides, and it was really good fun. We had about 300 people riding. It was cool.
It's important you say it's a no drop ride, because lots of people were asking the questions of like, what's the pace going to be? And it really doesn't matter. You pace it however the hell you want.
We have the banded on, so you don't get dropped. As long as you keep pedalling, you don't get dropped.
Good. Right. More hot tech next week. And now means it's time.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, cancel that. It's not the end of hot tech. We've got this outrageous custom painted bike to speak about.
Yeah, this thing is off the charts, right? So regular viewers of the show will be familiar with Ollie from Fat Creations. He does incredible custom painted bikes, and he taught Manon how to paint as well. But this bike he sent me, he's had a hand in bringing it to life, although it's mostly not his work. So it's his brother's bike, and it was done by his brother's tattoo artist, who's called Nathaniel Wesley Scott.
Wow.
Now, it's his apparently Ali's brother's big into tattoos, and has a Yakuza bodysuit full-on tattoo, and he wanted that sort of replicated onto his bike.
I can see that. Now you've said that, the design of this bike makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Everything's been painted.
So this is what happens when you get a very talented tattoo artist to apply his airbrush skills onto a bike.
Cool. Can I tell you a cool fact first?
Yeah.
I've seen this bike in person.
Yeah.
And it absolutely blew my mind. Look at the details. Like, is it gold leaf, or is it something different?
I mean, there's gold leaf on there, and that's one of the bits that Ali said he had a hand in doing, because that's a different sort of skills. Obviously, tattoo artists aren't in the art of applying gold leaf to people yet. But he also said that it's a special gold leaf as well. So I think the term he used was variegated. I might have got that wrong. But he says it's gold leaf, but it has like a burnt effect on it.
Wow.
So it's not just normal gold leaf. And it looks blooming amazing.
The pictures are incredible, but I can tell you it still doesn't do his bike justice. So the bike is actually an MV Melee, I believe. We got MV rims, all custom painted as well. Chris King Bad Boy hubs.
Full Dura Ace on there.
Full Dura Ace. I mean,
it's just the sort of the creativity of the way that it all sort of flows. With different elements like the flowers and the animals.
I like the face on the head tube.
And then like the snake going through it as well, and everything. It's just incredibly creative, isn't it? And it is like nothing I've ever seen before. No. And I dread to think how long that took.
This is probably one of those projects that you'd be glad you're able to do it yourself, because that would cost an absolute bomb to pay someone to do that.
Well, apparently this tattoo artist, he hadn't painted a bike before.
Whoa.
But he went in and got some tips and got some lessons, and they trained him up a bit at Fat Creations so that he could go away and do this, and he did. And well, I mean, it's a super nice, isn't it? I mean,
super nice all day long.
Unbelievable.
One great thing about it is it appears that the bike is a little bit mucky, so they're obviously using it, which I think is cool to see, rather than just like a piece of wall art. They're out riding this thing. Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal.
There you go. Right, now it is officially the end of Hot Tech, and we'll have more Hot Tech next week.
Yeah.
Shall we go straight into the bike vault? Sorry, comments of the week.
Yes, comments of the week. Right, hit us.
Yes, comments of the week. These are the comments that you guys have been leaving underneath the videos from last week. I wasn't here, and last week on the show, you had Ollie and Hank.
Yes, Hank was here, yeah.
So we've got... bear in mind, I've got no context to this, so I don't know what on earth the show was about, but NPXMNPXM says, I always imagined that my midlife crisis would be to buy a sports car, but the more I got into cycling, the more I wanted to buy and relentlessly tweak a dream bike, so much more healthy and affordable.
Yeah.
All right.
We're on about things that we love, that we love sort of buying and
to be fair, bikes are more affordable than getting into expensive luxury sports cars.
Or yachts.
Definitely more expensive.
Or private jets.
Yeah. Yamaha Bolt.
Yamaha Bolt says, Ollie's next epic challenge, I vote for the Tour de Ollie. Fully supported, but following the 25 scheduled route of including time trial and rest days. The 25 tour schedule route, yeah.
I'll get behind this.
Yeah.
I'll do team car.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll do team car.
You bring a pump this time?
Yeah, no, I don't need to bring a pump. Do you remember, cast your minds back, do you remember?
There were a lot of comments about your lack of pump on the Monte Grappa video.
Right. Let me get this thing straight.
Yeah.
Okay. A while back, I spoke about how incredible that mini pump was because it was so small, compact, and useful.
Little to peak one.
Yeah.
It's bloody great.
So many people in the comments were like, good luck pumping your tyres up with that little pump. That'd be useless at the roadside.
Yeah.
Joke's on them.
Yeah.
Ollie rode up Monte Grappa 10 times. We fixed his tyres 3 different times with that tiny little pump.
There you go.
If that doesn't
It's a good advert for the pump, isn't it?
If that doesn't show it's good,
There you go.
I don't know what else. But in hindsight, it probably would have been good to take a track pump and maybe some spare tyres and more inner tubes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you live and you learn.
You do, yeah.
Right. Next, underneath the video from the weekend where you were talking about your most loved gadgets.
Ramsden. So Ramsden says that the pad centering tool is definitely brilliant. Rubbing discs, the most annoying noise that suddenly appear, and this tool works every time.
Loads of people agree with that, right? I looked through the comments.
Beauty of it is it costs absolutely well, it doesn't cost nothing. Nothing costs nothing, but you get what I mean. It's
a low cost.
It's very low cost little item, blooming super useful, and as I said in that video, thanks to Wolfie.
Oh, the bike shop.
Wolfie from Wolfie's Bike Shop gave me it.
So lots of people enjoy that video, and I also picked out a sort of backhanded compliment here because Sean Hammond 6639 says, I wasn't expecting anything useful. This was actually very good.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, I wasn't expecting any good comments.
Sean has clearly got no faith in you. Anyway, right, onto the bike vault, shall we?
The bike vault, right. Alex got the vault. So, submit pictures of your bikes. Full judgment would be nice, super nice. If you want to submit your bike for a chance to be in the bike vault, there's a link in the description below to the uploader. Check it out, it's free. Right.
Okay, Mickle first with a 5-year-old Giant TCR Advanced Ultegra group set. Bit of 105 on there. What do we make of it?
Shadow stand. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's like a shadow plate. It's like a whole square of perspex behind.
Oh yeah. Shadow stand.
Oh, I'm going super nice.
Super nice.
Yeah. Love that.
Love it. Winnie with a
Cockmo Daytona
X titanium. Well, I've said it a million times. I'm an absolute sucker for a titanium bike.
It's got the new SRAM on it, that one.
Yeah, boy.
It's got the new SRAM red on it, so that's pretty new, that bike.
I like those these pedals are really underrated. They're flat on one side and then SPD the other side.
And it's got I like the tail fin bag on the top sheet, which is also appears to be using the bolt mount, not the not strapped. That bike must have bolts on the top.
Yeah. Can we go straight in? Super nice.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think that new SRAM group set.
Go on.
I think that's actually the best looking group set right now. A big claim. I know. Big shout.
Big claim. People can agree or disagree in the comments. Super nice. Velo Classic with a Time ADHX All-Road RTM Carbon Amber Gloss. Right, these wheels are going to be very controversial out here because I've ridden a set of these and the looks are too much for me, if I'm honest.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
It's just too out there. I can appreciate the tech and the design that goes into this stuff, but it's too bold.
It's too. I think there's too much. Yeah.
And also, can we all agree that chimney needs to address it?
Yeah, that chimney needs addressing. Definitely.
And the valves are a bit long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Bingissimo with a Tamarack Pista. Apparently, this was handmade in Halifax in Canada.
Not the north.
Not Halifax, as in Last Tango in Halifax.
No. I like it. Oh, look at... What have you seen these little noduly things on the handlebars?
Oh yeah. Track riding.
Yeah.
For riding on the hoods.
Riding on the hoods.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Rate it.
There's something.
Love a track bike.
Yeah, there's something good about that.
I'm gonna go super nice.
Yeah.
Shadow stand as well.
How are we saying this username? Emilan.
Emilian?
Yeah. This photo is taken on the highest cliff in Ibiza, fresh after finishing the T100 this year.
Wow. Fresh after finishing the T100. That little flex there. Yeah.
God, it's so chill after finishing that.
So fresh. I just went and rode up the highest cliff.
Had to do more cycling.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of the bike and less scenery, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And it's cool though, isn't it? We don't get enough TT bikes in.
No. Yeah, I like it. I would like to super nice that.
Yeah,
let's
super nice it.
Fair one. Precarious.
Dirty Harry is next with quite a fancy one. This one.
Cervelo, but it's tricked out. Is that right?
It is very tricked out. It's got tune hubs and wheels on it.
I see. Get this. Rebuilt their Cervelo Caledonia Glacier White after a crash with a dog.
Oh.
I hope the dog's alright.
Yeah.
I went back.
Well, it depends what kind of dog.
Back in the day when I was racing, I was in the peloton and a dog ran out and got run over and it snapped the guy's forks off.
Yeah, I bet the dog was fine.
No, the dog wasn't fine.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually a very sad story.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on from that. Right, what do you think of the bike? What do you think of the bike?
I hit a dog once.
Was it fine?
Yeah, it was fine. It ran off.
Right.
I wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
In Switzerland, little fun.
Right, the Cervelo Caledonia. Well, I mean, it could do with lighting a bit better.
Yeah.
The shadows are not doing it for me.
No, it's not a great photo of what is a really nice bike that's got loads of really thoughtful trick upgrades on it. I think it's just not in the right. It's not. You're not. That bike's blooming great. You've got to
sell it. We could politely ask that you resubmit.
I reckon so. That's a nice.
Resubmit.
Could easily be a super nice.
Next one is Phil brackets Rome and curry. Maybe his favourite place and meal.
A Grievel. Do you call it a Grievel or a Grevel?
Grevel. Yeah, it's a Grevel to me. I don't know.
I know, but people call it a Grievel.
Well, to me, it's a Grevel.
I feel like I need to ask Marangoni and ask him how the Italians pronounce it.
Well, I would really like one of these bikes.
I'm going to go super nice on that.
I can't fault it. It's got the classic sort of brown tan wool tyres. Goes with the colourway of the bike. Should we super nice?
Yeah. Right. I think that's all we've got time for you.
Okay, well, it's mega to be back. We've actually missed each other for the last 4 weeks.
In the night.
It's been making me sad, but I'm glad we're reunited. Right, get involved in the comment section down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on carbon fibre bikes. And, well, same time next week, shall we?
Love you, bye.